Yo, what is up, guys? It's Cone back here again today with another video. We just had two of the most random trades in recent NBA memory today in the middle of the offseason. The first one happened a couple days ago, and both of these trades involved Patrick Beverley. First one, him getting sent to the Memphis Grizzlies for Eric Bledsoe. Clippers looking for a bit of an upgrade at point guard. Without Kawhi Leonard, they're just trying to accumulate more talent and kind of shed some salary. Since Patrick Beverley has a longer-term contract, makes sense from that financial standpoint. The Grizzlies didn't hold on to Beverley for very long, this morning trading him to the Minnesota Timberwolves for former top 6 pick Jarrett Culver and Juancho Hernangomez. Two solid players. If Jarrett Culver, who's only 22, is able to find any semblance of the talent that he showed that made him a top 6 pick, then that's a huge win for the Memphis Grizzlies. But the Timberwolves not willing to hang on and wait any longer, picking up a solid backup point guard in Patrick Beverley that's going to give them some defense, which they desperately need, and clearing out a pretty crowded front court with Juancho Hernangomez leaving as well. And this trade really got me thinking about the Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that has long been kind of in this purgatory. They've never been some seasons they're awful, but outside of one season with Jimmy Butler, they've never been great. And even in that season, they were just the 8th seed. So they've been up and down. They've gotten a lot of number 1 overall picks, Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns, and now Anthony Edwards. That's 3 number 1 overall picks in the last 7-8-ish years. That's a lot of talent to bring into a team. And so when is that going to translate? And at the beginning of last season, I think I made a video that said the Timberwolves are in kind of a purgatory. But over the course of this past season, and with the way that Anthony Edwards has played, I feel a lot more optimistic about the future of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and even this season. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are a wild card in the Western Conference. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't think they're going to win the championship or anything. I don't think they're going to win the West. I don't even know if they'll make the playoffs. But I think this Timberwolves team is going to be a lot better than people are giving them credit for. I like this Timberwolves squad. They've got a lot of talent 1 through 5. They've got a solid bench. They've got a lot of young and upcoming pieces that could improve over the course of this season that has them ready to make a jump within the next couple years. I think this year is a little too early for that jump just because the West is so talented, but they are a team that I think could make life hell for a team or two in that play-in tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if they made it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they really fought hard to try and make the playoffs through that play-in format. So, why am I so high on the Timberwolves? Let's go through their roster. Obviously, over the course of this last season, they were pretty injured, and they did make a head coaching switch at about the halfway point in the season. Since Chris Finch came in and since they got healthier, I like this team more and more. D'Angelo Russell at the point guard position. I'm not the biggest D'Angelo Russell guy, but I do know that he's talented. He's a solid shooter. He's a good playmaker. He can kind of help this team and run things at the 1. I really think D'Angelo Russell is going to be the 3 option coming into the season behind Cat and Anthony Edwards, and that's the way I think it should be. D'Lo was an all-star a couple seasons ago, but the way I think of him now, I think right now, or just really ever to be an important piece on a championship team or a team trying to be competitive, I think he's got to be your really solid 3 guy. I think that's what he's going to be this season, and if he's able to stay healthy, it'll be a big win for a Timberwolves franchise that traded a lot to get him. Obviously, we have the 1A and 1B guys, Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards, going forward, should be their guy. I like Cat, and I think Cat is criminally underrated. I don't think people talk about Karl Anthony Towns nearly enough, but going forward, I think when they are trying to compete for a championship, if this young core does go on to do so, I think Anthony Edwards will be their number 1 scoring option. Cat's amazing, but the way that Anthony Edwards scored the basketball last season, his athleticism, his willingness to attack the basket, how much he improved over the course of just one season as well, going from a super inefficient guy at the start of the season to decent efficiency by the end of it, it was a big jump for him, and you could quickly see how comfortable he got in his role as a lot of nights the main scorer for that Timberwolves team. You know about Cat. Cat's really good. I don't really need to tell you that much. He's a great shooter, one of, if not the greatest shooting big man of all time. I've said that in a video in the past, and people have given me crap for it. Go look at the stats. And I promise you, you will realize that you're sleeping on Cat as a shooter if you think that's an incorrect statement. Cat's amazing, and he is a great fit next to Edwards, who can drive and kick, shoot on his own. Same with D'Angelo Russell. I think that's a really solid young big 3. And you throw in extra pieces around them like Malik Beasley, who is going to be a solid player for them. Last season, a lot of people thought he could be a most improved player guy, and he was really good. He's going to be their 4th option, and that's a really solid 4th option for a team scoring-wise. Obviously, when you look at this team so far that I've said, Not much defense. That's probably going to be their biggest problem and what holds them back the most. They're going to score the hell out of the basketball, and I think that's what's going to make them a super fun team to watch. It's just a question of, can they stop anyone? And that's where Patrick Beverley comes in. He's going to be their backup point guard, assuming we don't see a buyout or anything. Maybe Pat Bev doesn't want to stay here. Maybe he wants to go win somewhere, so they end up buying him out. But I don't think that they were going to trade Jarrett Culver for a guy that didn't want to be there. I'm sure they vetted that process. So I think Pat Beverley is going to be around for the long haul, unless they were just really trying to dump Jarrett Culver's contract and didn't want him to be around any longer. But Pat Bev gives them some solid defense in the backcourt for a team that really needs it. Also, there coming off the bench, you have like a Josh Okogie, who has shown some defensive promise as well. You have Jared Vanderbilt, who they might bring back. And starting at the 4 position, Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels is very, very slept on, and I'm pretty sure it's Jaden. I switch up Jalen and Jaden McDaniels all the time. Jaden McDaniels is a really solid young player, and I'm super excited about him for the Timberwolves. He is part of the key to this team. You've got all these great offensive players. You need someone to be your defensive anchor, and I think McDaniels has the potential to be that for this team. He can block shots. He is really athletic, so he can kind of step out to the perimeter at the power forward position and guard some guys. Now, is he going to go out there and guard like a Steph Curry? Probably not, but he can go out there and guard some of the 3s and 2s in this league at least decently. He's a good rim protector, like I mentioned. He can play down in the post, and he's a solid scorer from all over the court as well. I like McDaniels a lot, and I think the combination of D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Malik Beasley, McDaniels, and Cat as a starting 5 is super, super talented. That's a team that's going to make some noise, especially when you consider that the Rockets and Thunder are 2 teams that are probably still going to be bad. I expect the Spurs to be bad, and I think the Kings are going to struggle as well. That's already 4 teams that I think are going to be below the Timberwolves. Not to mention, if like a New Orleans Pelicans or a Memphis Grizzlies kind of struggle here and there, if the Clippers can't get things together without Kawhi Leonard, who knows what the Wolves are capable of doing of trying to make that play-in tournament. This is a super talented squad. And the more that I think about this team, the more I get excited about their future. This is the best I felt about the Timberwolves in a long, long time when I look at them. This isn't all because of the Pat Bev trade, but the Pat Beverley trade really made me rethink about this. This is something I wanted to make a video about for a little while now. And finally, I've got a reason to talk about them because they're back in NBA news. I know it's been a long haul for Minnesota Timberwolves fans. It's been a long time since they've made the playoffs outside of that one season. And after that one season, there was the whole thing with Jimmy Butler and raining fire on the Timberwolves starters with the 3rd stringers. First overall pick Andrew Wiggins doesn't end up working out. Cat's been up and down with his health as of recently. But finally, I feel like should be hope in the Minnesota Timberwolves franchise. I think this is going to be a big year for them. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs. I'm not even saying they'll make the play-in tournament. But I think this year is going to be a stepping stone for the Minnesota Timberwolves going into the future. I think this year could be like kind of a borderline play-in tournament type season for the Timberwolves, and the year after that could be a solid play-in tournament to getting into the playoff season for this Minnesota team. Anthony Edwards continues to make huge strides. He was phenomenal in the second half of last season, hitting 25 points per game multiple times, breaking rookie scoring records. He was not great in the first half of the season, so to make those strides and become the guy so quickly with a lot of his teammates going down with injury here and there, it was very, very impressive. Cat's underrated. D'Lo is going to come in and be a great playmaker for this team. I like this Timberwolves squad. I think they're going to shock a lot of people. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one that's high on the Timberwolves going into this season, but I think finally the Timberwolves are on the right path. It's not all because of this Patrick Beverley trade. That does help them. But from last season, I think they're on the right track. Let me know what you think about the Timberwolves. Do you even care about the Minnesota Timberwolves? Let me know what you thought about these 2 really random trades, who won them, and where do you see the Timberwolves ending up this upcoming season? Do you agree with me that they could make the play-in tournament, or do you think I'm a little premature on that front? Let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate y'all watching. I will see you guys later. Real one, say it back.